It was a typical dragging day in calculus. Friday, 7th period. Spring break was so close we could practically taste it, and everyone was restless. Thankfully, we didn't have a test like half the school did, so our laid-back teacher decided to spend the period playing games on Sporkle. We were in the middle of a brand logo quiz. My friend had just answered Adidas, when everything changed. The dean's voice suddenly blasted through the intercom, panicked and shaky. "This is not a drill. Teachers, go into lockdown now." A wave of chills ran up my arms. Even our easygoing teacher looked terrified as he lunged for the light switch and hurried us into the back corner of the room. We sat there in dead silence. After about 2 minutes, the familiar buzzing from a panel in the back of the room abruptly stopped. The power had been cut. That's when it hit all of us. This was serious. A few more long, tense minutes passed, and then we heard it. A man screaming at the top of his lungs somewhere down the hallway. 2 girls immediately broke into tears, which only made the rest of us more on edge. The screaming got closer and closer. The man started slamming his fists against the lockers, shouting, "I'll kill all of you!" His voice was wild, unhinged. Every word made my heart pound harder. Our teacher motioned frantically for silence. We huddled together, listening as the banging on the lockers suddenly shifted toward our classroom door. The man started pounding on it, screaming, "Open up!" One of the girls couldn't help it. She screamed, "No!" And the rest of us nearly jumped out of our skin. It felt like that pounding lasted forever. But eventually, the man moved on, still screaming, his voice slowly fading down the hallway until we couldn't hear him anymore. About 10 minutes passed, though it felt like 30, before the dean came back on the loudspeaker. Surprisingly, he explained what had happened. Apparently, a mentally unstable man had wandered into the school and assaulted the woman at the front desk, forcing her to flee outside screaming. Staff didn't know whether he was armed. This was before the school had cameras or proper security, so anyone could just walk in. A full sweep of the building had turned up nothing. The dean told teachers to resume class, but keep the doors locked and not let anyone leave, no matter what. What happened afterward was even more disturbing. Later that evening, a night shift janitor found the man asleep in a storage closet near the back of the school. According to rumors, a .44 Magnum was sticking out of his pocket. The janitor must have startled him. When police arrived, the man had already vanished. To this day, none of us from that class knows whether he was ever found. I can only hope that wherever he ended up, he finally got the help he clearly needed.
I was staying at a Hampton Inn in New Jersey while visiting Rowan University, a college I was seriously considering. My family couldn't make the trip, so I was on my own. After a full day of campus tours, I grabbed dinner at a nearby restaurant and headed back to the hotel around 8 p.m., planning to return to campus the next morning. About an hour after settling into my room, an alarm suddenly blared. A bright white light began flashing from the corner of the ceiling, and a recorded announcement started looping. "All Hampton Inn guests, please remain in your rooms. This is a lockdown." I had never heard of a hotel lockdown before. I didn't even know hotels had alarms like that. Honestly, I was more intrigued than scared at first. Eventually, the loud alarm stopped, but the white light kept blinking, and the announcement repeated about every 20 seconds. It was only around 9:30, so I turned on the TV for background noise while I changed and brushed my teeth. When I finally got into bed, the flashing light was still going strong, bright, harsh, impossible to ignore. I figured I'd call the front desk soon to ask when it would shut off. Before I could, the phone rang. It was someone from the front desk. I expected an explanation about the alarm, maybe an apology. But instead, the woman on the line sounded tense, almost panicked. She told me to stay calm and walk out of the room immediately. I asked her what was going on. Her voice tightened as she said, "There is someone in the room with you. You need to leave now." I dropped the phone. Every instinct kicked in at once. My eyes swept the room, under the bed, into the bathroom. Nothing. Empty. But then I saw the closet door beside the bathroom. It was one of those wooden sliding doors, open just an inch. Through that tiny gap, I saw a face. For a split second, my brain didn't register what I was looking at, but then the door slid completely shut. That was all it took. I bolted out of the room and ran straight to the front desk, shaking. Staff members showed me security footage from about an hour earlier of a sketchy-looking man wandering the hallways as if he were searching for a specific room. When he reached mine, he opened the door using a key card he had somehow gotten his hands on. Authorities arrived and eventually escorted him out in chains. He was a short man, maybe in his 40s, and when he passed me, he looked right at me, like he knew exactly who I was. Thinking back on it now, the most chilling part is realizing he might have been watching me for over an hour from inside that closet.